Will someone end this bitch?
Hey, fellow outlaws, it's Twist here again for Amathine, and I know that it's been a while, but I'm finally back with the fourth and final guide for Red Dead Online's Strange Tales of the West Part 1 Telegram Mission Series. We had a move and some other stuff going on that prevented me from getting this one done as quickly as I would have liked, but now all four guides are available, the set is complete, and my ADHD can stop screaming at me about leaving a project undone. That said, as usual, I'm not going to waste all y'all's time, and we're just going to get right into it. My previous three guides for these missions were pretty straightforward walkthroughs, but due to the free choice and non-linear nature of Strange Tales of the Wilderness, that's not going to be the case for this one. Instead, I'm going to give you an overview of the mission as a whole and how I prefer to complete it, along with some tips and tricks that you can use in your own playthroughs, including all three potential locations for your main objective. So let's start at the beginning. You're going to spawn in, and there's a bit of a ride to the first objective, which is an abandoned researcher's camp in Tall Trees. And if you open your loadout, you'll notice that you have a really weird setup and have no access to your actual weaponry or the items in your satchel. That's because this is a survival type mission in which even this weird loadout is denied to you, and you will actually start with nothing at all. It's not that big of a deal because there's plenty of stuff to find, and I'll show you where you can get some goodies throughout the course of this guide. But before we get to that, I wanted to share a discovery I made, which is that you can actually prep before the mission begins properly by picking herbs such as oregano and sage to cook with, or golden currant and raspberries to eat and recover a bit of your cores immediately when the mission actually begins. It's definitely not necessary, but you can find this stuff on the way to the camp, so go ahead and do it if you want. Anything you pick up after the mission loading screen will be available even after the rest of your loadout is denied to you. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So you'll ride over to the researcher's camp, and there's a note on this crate that you can interact with, and it's going to give you a little bit of exposition if you care about that kind of thing. And then after interacting with the note, you'll get a cutscene with some rough and tumble types, starting you a little 6-on-1 action. Unless you have a posse with you, in which case the more the merrier. And then, anyway, after the cutscene fades to black, you'll find yourself waking up from unconsciousness with nearly drained cores and no equipment or supplies other than what you might have picked up after you loaded into the mission. And now there are 3 potential locations in which you can spawn, as well as 3 potential locations for the researcher that you need to find to complete your mission, and the location of your researcher is determined by the location in which you spawn. So this means that you'll be able to determine where to find your researcher by pulling up the map once you spawn in, which then will save you a lot of time and trouble. And yeah, I will show you all 3 spawn in and researcher locations in just a couple minutes, but if you're impatient and you don't care about the rest of it, you can skip right on ahead. But I had fun making this video, so I hope that you'll watch it anyway. So just go ahead and choke out this guy by the fire since you've got nothing but these hands, and then pick up the hunting knife that will always be available at any point that you spawn in. And so as of now, this mission is completely free choice, and any semblance of a walkthrough ends. And instead, I'm just going to go over some tips and hints to help you choose your own path forward, and we're going to start with the obvious: weapons. There are tons of weapons of all kinds scattered across the map, and as I said, you can always find a hunting knife at your spawn location, and there are other weapon pickups indicated on your minimap as you approach them. You can find bows, fire bottles, a variety of guns, including the Mauser pistol, the cowboy revolver, a couple shotguns, but, I'm not going to lie, you don't need any of those. In my experience, all you need is a knife and a bow, and you're good to go. In fact, I've completed this mission several times on Ruthless using only the hunting knife and nothing else. And I don't know, I just find it really fun to do the mission this way. It's dark, it's easy to sneak around and ambush the enemy NPCs, and even if you don't manage to slit their throats, some quick knife work will make them bleed out just the same. I still suggest picking up a bow and some arrows or whatever else you can find in case you need it, but this mission is 100% doable with only the knife. If you decide to go ahead and go with the bow and you find yourself running low on arrows, you can get some NPCs to fire their own bows at you and then get their arrows stuck in the ground or in trees and pick them up to use for yourself, but I find this tedious and unnecessarily risky on Ruthless when, again, all you really need is the knife. So having only a handful of arrows, it's really not that big of a deal. And again, there are guns available, but your ammo is limited, and don't be like me and break your legs falling down this well to pick up a shotgun by the Southern researcher. Gravity really hurts. And I also highly suggest that you run the Paint It Black ability card for this mission if you're not already running it by default. With limited ammo, you can't really afford to miss, so marking your enemies with a guaranteed headshot will help you to conserve it. And additionally, Painted Black is just one of the best ability cards in general for hunting outside of this mission, since it lets you take down multiple birds or any small, fast-moving targets. And if you're hunting for trader goods, it's great to use for that, to take out multiple 3-star deer at once to put in your hunting wagon. And then finally, I highly suggest that you take Fool Me Once, so that every time you do damage, you get a little health back, which will really help you stay alive here. And health brings us to our next topic, cores, cooking, and crafting. And since you don't have access to your regular satchel, you'll have to watch your cores and manage them throughout the mission. This isn't too difficult because you'll find some ducks near enemy NPCs that you can pick up, skin, and cook, and there's plenty of herbs around to use to cook with. There's also some deer that look usable, but don't be fooled, they're just there to tease you and provide atmosphere or something. If you're really looking for a buff, you can get yourself a gold core or two by heading to this location, where you'll find a little fortification with some NPCs, a shotgun, a fire bottle, and a bear. If you want to kill the bear, you'll get some big game meat, and then you can cook that with whatever herb you'd like for the gold core of your choice. I did this a few times, but in the end, I find that killing the bear is overall a waste of time and ammo, and it's another risk since you might just fall in there with it and get mauled. But if you want it, it's there. The easiest and most efficient way to manage your cores is to loot every enemy you find for whatever they carry. A lot of the time, you'll get some ammo, or some food, or even a tonic that'll buff your stat bar gold. And there's also lootable chests and such lying around, but as is typical for online play, they very rarely hold anything. I check anyway because I'm weird like that. You can also craft ammo and other stuff at campfires as per usual. And an interesting thing of note is that there are spots throughout this mission where you can find oleander in the forest and then use that to create poison arrows and throwing knives, but oleander doesn't normally spawn in tall trees, which makes this the first time that I know of that an herb spawns out of its normal location just for an instance mission. That's actually kind of cool, I think. And now we're on to the last topic before we get to our researcher spawns, and that's horses. So occasionally when you spawn in, you'll find a horse nearby that you can go up to and take, and this basically makes the entire mission easy mode. As again, you don't really need all the pickups, and while there's notes at various camps, they don't actually provide you with any buffs or special things that help you complete the mission, nor do they direct you to your objective, so they're essentially useless. So once you get a horse, you can pretty much just ride right to the end if you want, and another easy way to get a horse is to just go hide near the road and wait. Eventually, a couple Skinner Brother NPCs are going to ride past you, and you just wait for the first rider to get ahead a little bit, and then use Painted Black to silently take the back rider out. Once his oblivious buddy leaves, you can just grab his horse and ride off, or alternately, you can kill both of them and take whichever one you want. You can also check the saddlebags on the horses if you so desire, but do it at your own risk, since strange horses have a 50% chance to kick you when you check their saddlebags, and with low cores of health, it can easily one-shot you and end your mission. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. As I said at the beginning of this guide, the location in which you spawn is directly correlated to where you will find the researcher that you're looking for. And there are 3 potential spawn-in locations. The first one is in the far north. And when you spawn in up here, you will find the researcher that you're looking for down here in the south by these little houses that are marked on your map. The next potential spawn-in point is here in the southeast by Manzanita Post, and when that happens, your researcher will be in the northwest by Sean McGuire's cabin. Then finally, your last spawn-in point is here in the southwest, and then your researcher will be located in the northeast, just a bit east of the L in Tall Trees. You'll know you found the researcher you're looking for because you get a little white ping on your map just like this, and also as you can see in this clip, they do glow orange to make them easy to identify. So all you gotta do is take him out and then loot him and bring what you loot back to our erstwhile scholarly quest giver for our reward. So that's pretty much all there is to this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually think that this is the most fun out of the 4 just due to the non-linear nature and because it's something different to do in the game. It's not like any other mission. And plus, I get to stab everybody to death, and that's just great. I hope that y'all found this guide to be entertaining and helpful, and if so, please go ahead and give it a like and the channel a subscribe. And if you do that, Amathine might buy me a Frosty and let me make more videos. Plus, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy in my jaded Gen X soul. And so that's it. I'm Twist, and I'm out of here. Oh, but you should totally stick around and watch this bonus montage of me cutting up every Skinner Brother in Tall Trees. See ya!
Will someone end this bitch?